All right, people, so we are 14 minutes away from the hour of 8 o'clock, and we have Seth Weil aboard with us for the next 10 minutes. So, Seth, morning, what's up?
Good morning, Stefan Reese and staff and all of our viewers. All right. Well, this morning I wanted to touch on an article I saw in the U.S. out of the 4th of July parade of an incident that would have taken place. Let me share my screen so you all could see what that topic is. Right, let me pull this up here. So, this happened during the 4th of July weekend in the U.S., where Indiana mom dies at 35 years from drinking too much water.
Wow.
Right, so, water toxicity. Yes, it's actually quite a common thing. Right, so water toxicity is an issue, and they said in a space of 20 minutes she drank about 4 bottles of water. It wasn't those 4 bottles alone that killed her, but over the period of time she was drinking even more. I believe sometime ago, either last year or year before, I looked at a condition that some people have, polydipsia, which is where people overconsume water. And, that can happen due to 2 main reasons. Have primary polydipsia and psychotic polydipsia, which is where people have sometimes their medication or whatnot that they may be on might cause them to feel extra thirsty. Or some might have psychotic episodes, usually schizophrenia, that cause them to excessively drink water. All right? But there is a condition called hyponatremia. Hyponatremia, let me just pull up this here with from, of course, National Library of Medicine, right? Fatal water intoxication. And what they're saying here, it says water intoxication can occur in a variety of different clinical settings, but is generally not well recognized in the medical literature. The condition may go unrecognized in the early stages when the patients may have symptoms of confusion, disorientation, nausea and vomiting, but also changes in mental state and psychotic symptoms. Early detection is crucial to prevent severe hyponatremia, which can lead to seizures, coma, and death. Right? This term here, hyponatremia, if you break down the word, right, hypo meaning low, and natremia from nutrium means low sodium.
Okay.
Right? So you know that lead into stuff. Right? You know that lead into
low sodium.
One of my favorite topics on our salt consumption.
Salt consumption, yeah.
Because a while now I haven't brought up the topic of salt, right? But hyponatremia has to do with the ratio of your fluids and your sodium levels. So when some people are consuming excess amount of water, it dilutes the amount of sodium in the body, and that goes out of balance, and that affects the fluid concentration, the sodium concentration, or your salt concentration in your extracellular matrix and intracellular matrix, all right? And that becomes problematic, all right? Because we all are always on this, you need to consume a lot of water. And most of the water that we consume today, a lot of people go and buy water and whatnot, it's empty.
Yeah, the bottled water, bottled water.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that, because this is cleaner water, it's purified, but I don't know, boy. It's a debate, People have debated, pipe-borne water as opposed to bottled water. In terms of the Indiana mother, I guess this goes along with the saying, too much of anything ain't good for you. Even water. Because I know since I'm small, I've been told you need to drink 8 glasses of water a day.
Right, the amount of water you need to drink per day, your body would know that. Once you're in a healthy state, your body would signal you when you need to consume or not. So you don't have a set figure as to how much water everybody's supposed to get in a day. So saying 8 glasses of water a day, as a general statement, that can be very misleading.
Okay.
Right? That can be very, very misleading. I always tell people you want to look at your urine color, you have to look at how your body is functioning. There are many different factors. All right. What people need to understand is people that are consuming excess water, they might end up with their feet swelling, or they might have certain symptoms. It could give reference to or hint to you that they have underlying health issues. They could have a whole problem with the hypothalamus, which is a part of the brain that deal with the endocrine system, and that could be out of whack. That could have neurodegeneration taking place there that is causing their systems to be out of whack. They could have congestive heart condition. They could even have renal failure and totally unaware of it. They could have what you call it, insufficiencies in their hormones, and all these different things that they could be suffering from and unaware of it, right? And their excess thirst, where they're constantly feeling thirsty, that can be an indication that they have these underlying conditions, and they might just be thinking that they are thirsty and thinking they're not getting enough water. Many people are on many medications, and many medications can cause this to happen. A lot of people, because of the medications they're on, and this is why hyponatremia affects the elderly more than younger people, is because the elderly, almost every elderly person you know on some kind of medication. On some
kind of medication for something or the other, yeah.
Exactly, and the medication can have these effects. And if you notice, as we mentioned, water intoxication is something that usually goes unrecognized in the medical department, right? So when people are thinking being on all these medications it's okay and fine, no, it could have detrimental effect, and it wouldn't even look at the fact that maybe their consumption of water is contributing to their ill health, because we all grew up hearing that water is good, drink plenty water. Some of the simplest things somebody might be saying, make sure to drink water today, and they might think it's a joke thing, you know. You know, the person wouldn't even check up on you and ask you if you're healthy, if you drink any water today, right? I drink way less water than most people, right? I can tell you that, because I keep a conscious attention to how my body is functioning. All right, I take very particular attention to how my body is operating, and my salt consumption, my sodium levels as well. Right, most people don't know what is the main ingredient in IV. It's salt water.
Salt water, yeah.
That is the foundation of all IVs. Right?
Yeah.
That is the foundation of it. So while we are here thinking that salt is the enemy, and the thing is, when it comes to salt, collectively, you mention salt, everybody views salt as the enemy.
Yeah.
Collectively, you mention salt anywhere. It has been so indoctrinated into people that salt is not good, yet you die without it. You literally die without salt. You don't consume enough salt because the body cannot produce sodium, you literally die. But collectively, everybody views salt as not good, and the documentation shows a lack of salt causes high blood pressure and water retention. But collectively, people would tell you, oh, you're consuming too much of salt, this is why your blood pressure high, right? They say, oh, when you have water retention, it's because it's too much of salt. And what does the literature actually say? The literature says that when the more salt you consume, the more your body excretes water and reduces your thirst. Right? Okay. And that's from 2017 documentation. Right? But yet we're still pushing this narrative because people have collectively painted salt as the enemy. Right? It is unquestionable. Right? Salt collectively is the enemy. Right?
Well, we want to make sure people understand what type of salt we're talking about here.
Here's the thing. That doesn't even matter as much.
Serious?
That does not even matter as much. Yeah. Right? Because people have collectively labeled it as the enemy. Think about it this way. Now, I would tell people, go with the sea salt, the Himalayan pink salt, the Celtic sea salt. Those are much better salt. You'll read the ingredients in salt. You'll look for the ones without the anti-caking agents and all these additives that they have in it. Right? But people need to consume more salt. Right? 97.5% of all the water that exists in the world today is salt water. Only 2.5% of the water that exists today is fresh water. But yet we have salt as the enemy. How? That isn't even making much sense, right? But many people are sick and being hospitalized. And this is why on my programs, I educate people. And I show them the data, I show them the studies. I educate people, right? And of course, we keep leaving knowledge and information with regards to our health in the hands of the authorities, and we blindly consuming a whole set of petrochemicals. That is what medication is, you know. Yeah. Petroleum.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
People eating petroleum on a daily basis because we don't want to make lifestyle and nutritional changes because we are so addicted to the rubbish that we are accustomed eating. We don't want to give that up. And because we don't want to give it up, we don't want to educate ourselves on proper nutrition.
You know,
rather pop a pill. Let's take some petrochemicals.
So just real quick here before we run out of time, let me just mention this. In terms of salt water, you mentioned that the majority of the water in the world is salt water. And when people get sick, the first thing is, a lot of people say, well, I need to go and take a salt bath. They need to go by the beach. So the salt water now, whether your body absorbs it or you dip your head in the salt.
Even in the air,
it makes you feel better. Anybody who have the flu, you have the flu and you go by the beach. But by the time you leave the beach before you reach home, you feel 100% better,
Yeah, but again, salt is the enemy. Salt is the enemy.
Yeah, but we
put salt and sugar in the same category. Two things totally opposite, Put them in the same category because they look
the same. Yeah.
Right? They look the same. And we are literally killing ourselves. Slow suicide, I call it. Slow suicide by choice, out of ignorance.
So,
so what I tell people is, my program, my health coaching program, I coach people, I educate them on proper nutrition and health. The people that have been getting results with me, getting all the conditions and stuff reversed, things that the medical world classes incurable, and now the conditions gone, right? It's because I educate them,
Right.
I educate it, right? So I educate, and that's how I coach, through education. Knowledge is power, and we need to understand that when people come to me and they tell me about their issues, there's a lot of computation going on and within my cranium to try to understand their condition and how to rectify it, right? You might think it might appear easy, but it's a lot of computation taking place.
All right.
A lot of things I have to consider.
So people, like we say, Seth has the Holistic Health Clinic going on. Give him a call, 761-1952. That is 761-1952. Make an appointment today and get educated. And through that education, then you have the option, it's your choice, freedom of choice, if you want to move forward and make the changes that are necessary. Or if you want to go back and do the same things that, mightn't be working for you. You ended up in the same result, doing the same thing over and over, which is the definition of madness. So Seth, thanks a lot. And when this weekend?
Yeah, most likely this weekend.
All right, this weekend, no problem, man. All right, thanks a lot.
All right, thanks for having me.
Yep. So, I went and I put on a little weight on the tummy here, and now we're going on set program. So, we'll see. All right.